If your plants suddenly become weaker than usual, accidental herbicide exposure could be one possible cause. This type of injury is commonly associated with herbicides that inhibit the shikimic acid pathway, particularly glyphosate. One of the earliest visible signs is pale yellow or white discoloration near the base of young leaves. As the injury develops, new leaves may become unusually small, wrinkled, or distorted. Leaf edges can turn brown and curl upward, while overall plant growth becomes noticeably weaker. Affected plants may produce fewer flowers, which can lead to reduced yields. Fruit that does develop may be smaller, misshapen, or marked with dark brown scars. In severe cases, tissue death can begin near the growing point at the top of the plant and gradually spread downward. Glyphosate injury usually occurs when the herbicide reaches plants that were not intended to be treated. This can happen through spray drift, accidental spraying, contaminated equipment, or herbicide residues left inside a sprayer that is later used on other crops. Because glyphosate is absorbed primarily through green plant tissues, even relatively small amounts can injure sensitive plants. Once absorbed, glyphosate interferes with the shikimic acid pathway, which is essential for producing several amino acids required for normal plant growth and development. Off-target exposure can occur in several ways, including wind drift, accidental application, contaminated spray equipment, soil residues, or movement of herbicide from treated areas. The severity of injury depends on the amount of herbicide reaching the plant species and variety, its growth stage, and environmental conditions. Unfortunately, once significant herbicide injury has occurred, there is usually no treatment that can completely reverse the damage. If the symptoms are mild and the plant survives, new growth produced after the exposure may develop normally. However, severely damaged plants may never fully recover. The best approach is prevention. Maintain healthy plants through appropriate watering and balanced nutrition, but avoid excessive fertilization in an attempt to compensate for herbicide injury. Always read and follow the herbicide label carefully, including the recommended application rate, timing, and precautions. Calibrate spraying equipment regularly so the correct amount of product is applied. Take particular care when spraying near sensitive crops and ornamental plants. Avoid applications when strong winds could carry droplets toward non-target plants, and pay attention to wind direction before spraying. Use appropriate spray nozzles and techniques designed to reduce drift. Never assume that a sprayer is clean simply because it has been emptied. Thoroughly clean equipment according to the product label before using it for insecticides, fungicides, fertilizers, or other crop treatments. Keeping separate equipment for herbicides and other agricultural products can further reduce the risk of accidental contamination. Avoid spraying under weather conditions that are unsuitable for the specific herbicide. Always follow the product label rather than relying on a general temperature or weather rule. Regularly inspect plants after herbicide applications, especially those growing close to treated areas. The key symptoms to remember are stunted growth, pale or yellow young leaves, small and wrinkled foliage, upward curling leaf margins, reduced flowering, deformed fruit, and progressive necrosis in severe cases. By identifying the target weed correctly, preventing spray drift, maintaining clean equipment, and following herbicide labels carefully, growers can greatly reduce the risk of accidental glyphosate injury. Stay tuned for more practical plant care advice.